Right, here's the next thing to deal with. Bit of a disgrace of a clutch cylinder, but we've got a refurb kit, so we'll change all the bits we need to adjust inside. It's not too bad here, slightly overhauled here. We'll see what we can do when we're fitting the clevis pin. Not got the welder unfortunately, otherwise I could weld it shut and re-drill, but it's not actually that bad. Anyway, we'll get this all cleaned up and see how we go. Hi guys, not sure if I've got footage of this, but basically what we're working on is the clutch and master cylinder restoration. Gone through some processes, basically just, you know, some cleaning fluids, degreaser, brake bleed. Yeah, we fitted the service kit, so I'll just show you what's in those if there isn't footage of me doing it. So that is your master cylinder, and basically inside there's two pistons, one there and one there, and they got springs, so that's what they kind of look like. So there's two kits, so this one for the clutch master cylinder, sorry, for the brake master cylinder, and then this one for the clutch master cylinder slash old style brake master cylinders. So basically you get a replacement plunger and spring and rubbers and everything, all of this for those ones, and for these ones you get one of the plungers, this one, the other one you don't get, but you do get new seals for it like this, and then this is C circlip like that, which is just holding in the bottom there, stopping everything from falling out the bottom, and it's the same on those. So you will need circlip pliers just to pinch that together to remove that. Extremely rusty because that's on the bottom of both of the cylinders for me. Yeah, there might be some footage possibly, or some pictures. Anyway, so let's show you what they look like in the car now. So here they are. So obviously the clutch cylinder, all rubbed back. It's got some lacquer clear coat on it, and then the same for the master cylinder. Make sure you cover the holes when you put the clear coat on them. One just thing I will show you is this split pin through here was very rusted in for me, and it's very hard to remove because you basically have no access to push it from this side. So what I did is I squeezed it with one of my clamps, mole grip clamps, so there was enough sticking out here, and then I had to basically grab hold of that end and push it back through each way 4 or 5 times with WD-40, and then twist it, and eventually I got it out. So he is a bit of a pain, but you have to take him out so you can take the bottle off the back, so you can then change these rubbers in here and in here. But yeah, they've come up all right. At least they're not all rusty. And for some reason the master cylinder was gold in this. I think someone had hammerite golded it before. Anyway, we're getting somewhere. Those two are done. Right, next up on the restoration is the wiper motor. So here, and obviously the arm that goes to the two wipers. That's just a plastic cover. Needs a good cleaning up. This tube is about 1 meter, about 1 meter 20, 1 meter 30 of that, and I think it's about 6 mil outside diameter, 3 internal diameter. I'll see how it is. Might paint it, might clean it up, might replace it. Probably replace it. It would be nice and cheap. So yeah, I'm going to get that all stripped down and cleaned up. So hopefully, fingers crossed, if the camera's all working, next thing you'll see is me stripping it down a bit. Quickly on the clutch and brake cylinders, master cylinders. There's a guy on YouTube who's working on it's actually a Mini 25 as well, I think, restoring a classic. He's got some videos of cleaning up and restoring those master cylinders, and they are fantastic, so go check him out. Restoring a classic. Thanks. First thing you need to do is remove these 4 get this cover plate off, and then undo this big nut, then you'll be able to get this bar to lift out. It lifts straight up out of there. Right, let's have a quick look at the inside of the wiper motor. Obviously this is a motor, spins this way, runs a worm gear there, which then rotates this. Then we've got an off centre, so that is like a cam basically. Translates the rotation into push pull, which pushes and pulls this rod, and then here there's the opposite, translating the push pull back to rotation for the wiper. You see if I turn that, because this is like a screw all the way down, and then there's a gear on each of these to rotate. So anyway, we've undone that nut and we're taking the cover plate off, and now we can lift, and that comes out of there, you see. There's just a retaining clip on here, so we'll just take that off. Retaining clip and little washer off the top of here, so that now lifts away from there, and then this lifts out. You've got a little plastic guide in here so you can come out as well. Then we'll get the gear out and just clean it up. Yeah, so I won't show hours of cleaning this up, but yeah, just basically roughly how it comes apart, and got a couple of nuts to take off the back of these so we can get in there, clean them up and re-grease them. Right, got the gear out, so it was a little bit stiff to turn. There was a little retaining circlip on the back, so that obviously comes from in here, and then once you get the circlip off you can knock it out. There's a locating peg just down there. Just need to clean up this and this interface here so it can rotate a bit more easily. Should be fairly freely spinning in there. This was a bit stiff, and as we know, there isn't that much power in the motor, and it doesn't take much to sap the power and give you very slow wipers. So hopefully once we sorted this, we'll be okay. Right, here I am just doing up the last couple of nuts on this subframe now. This one here, a bit annoying because you can't get a socket on it. But yeah, so there's two at the back here, one at the front through the teardrop mount, and then obviously the big bolt at the top, which you need a huge socket for. I need to borrow that because I haven't actually got it with me here today. But then we've got that all done up, and the next job will be the engine. So well, apart from a few more ancillaries. Cheers guys. There she is, subframe in. These two bolts, you just use the rope over the rafter at the top here, and a piece of wood and a couple of jacks just to bring it up. All in position now though. Closer look. Okay, she's looking alright, nice and black. Everything else is fine. Make sure these are obviously coming up behind. Battery cable comes up on the inside, and then up to here. So yeah, everything looks okay so far. I know it's not all brand new, but at least it doesn't look horrendous. Right, there's the old plate out. As you can see, there's the hole that's not round anymore. I've got the bolt to secure the limiter onto the bulkhead there, so I just need to put that on. What I'm trying to do is get this face to how approximately it should be. So for example, over here I've got to mount this relay. It just goes here, so we need a single screw onto the bulkhead, that the head of the screw goes behind this cutout in the relay mount. That's a new part I had to buy because the old one connector spades had rusted out. But anyway, one screw and that'll be there. Obviously the wiring harness connections, the inline fuses, fuse box needs screwing on the back here for these connections, and then I think, apart from the choke and the heater control, I think that's everything that comes through the bulkhead. I've already fitted the bulkhead foam that I've got, that rubber grommet up in there. I've got a nightmare job of trying to fit this grommet into the hole in the dash there, and route all the cables roughly where they're going to go. Figure out how this hose gets from over there to here on the heater. So yeah, we've got a bit more messing around to do. It won't affect the repaint of the car because obviously we don't need to paint the inside again, so, and under the bonnet, so that's fine. Then we can get the engine in and the front wheels, and then we'll be able to move it around a bit.